So this video, I'm probably going to end up calling it something along the lines of "I can't believe this happened" or whatever, because what ended up happening is that a book that should have been in today, out of two, so it was two books that should have come in today, only one did, and the other one is not going to come in until tomorrow, July 1st. That hasn't happened in a long time. It is from third-party sellers, so I guess that, I get it. But really, it's USPS. It just stayed at one facility for much longer than it needed to. It was fine when it was, Saturday and it was at that facility, but then Sunday rolls around and it's like 8 p.m. and it's still on Sunday and it's still at that facility. And I knew I would not be getting it today, or if I would be, like, maybe I would if I got lucky, but I didn't, obviously. But whatever. And I kind of expected this to happen anyways, and it's kind of been being slow in general with the last two books, so I guess you can't do much about it, obviously. But it wasn't like it's. I did order it. I did order it from a third-party seller in general, so whatever. Kind of expect it. It's kind of funny because this is the month after the birthday haul, so I'm bending down like I'm kind of bending over a lot more than I expected to, I guess you could say. I guess part of it was because I was just so used to it being a big stack, but it's only a little stack. I don't know why I mentioned that. Alright, first one up is Family Force 5, or V, Book 1, by Matt Braley. Oh, it's two T's. That was just one T. But Matt Braley. And then artwork done by Ainsworth Lynn. And you'll know Matt Braley from, if you watched the cartoon Amphibia. I found it kind of funny. It was kind of nice that someone that's known for cartoons makes his way into comics, even if it is just this book. And here's the artwork for Family Force 5. Amphibia is one of those TV shows I do keep meaning to check out, but I don't. Because a lot of it is because of the fact that if it's a movie, I'll make my way to watch it, but TV shows I just am so far behind on, and then I keep getting recommended TV shows to check out, and it's a very long process, I guess you could say. And a lot of that is just because of the fact that movies are 2 hours, and then TV shows like at least 6. And it's just a lot of commitment. But then you think, well, you just watch one video, and that's what I do. I don't watch one video. You just watch one episode per day, and then you've done 6 days, and that's what I need to get into the habit of doing. That was actually my New Year's resolution: read less and watch TV, watch a bit more TV. In the sense that it'd be equal. Like it'd be like 6 hours, 6 hours, like per day. Like it'd be like 4 to 6 hours of reading, and the rest of that time is watching TV shows, doing this, doing that, doing other things other than reading, which for the most part, I have been doing that here and there, but I need to get into the habit of really doing that. Alright, but anyways, but this one is an OGN, meaning it doesn't collect any issues that were previously collected elsewhere, and oh yeah, who gave it praise? Rebecca Sugar, creator of Steven Universe, gives it praise. Whoever created the Owl House, Dana Terrace, gave it praise. Kind of funny that their cartoon friends are giving it praise. Alex Hirsch, who was creator of Gravity Falls, I knew that right after that. N.D. Stevenson, who did Nimona. Jeff Smith, creator of Bone, and again Dana Terrace. Okay, so all a bunch of kiddie book writers or kiddie TV show writers or creators. Trevion, which is kind of funny because that comes full circle with Everyday Hero Machine Boy, another one of these Skybound comic books. Sweeney Boo, who I only know because she did a backup story for Wonder Woman. Wonder Girl, rather. Sarah Graley and Steph Perrins was going to be doing Pizza Witch, which is coming out later this year. That's another Image Skybound book. It's kind of funny they're crediting with a book, crediting them with a book that hasn't even come out yet, unless there was like a free comic book day preview. I don't know if there was. I know there was one for the Transformers Skybound comic book. Now, what is Image Comics Skybound comic? It's for young adult readers and kids to young adults. It's this imprint that publishes comics. Like it's kind of like the DC ink imprint. Honestly, exactly like that. But this one is specifically 12 and up, which is kind of weird. Because then they have 14 and up, so it's kind of like really two year difference. But I guess it's kind of like the PG versus R, and they kind of need the PG-13 in the middle. So the next one is actually a floppy. I need to make sure that I did this for a reason. Make sure I have the other two books next to it. After next one up is a floppy, and this one I bought like just off a whim, and that is Casual Heroes by Kevin McCarthy. Now I got this because this is the only thing that I needed left that Kevin McCarthy did for Image Comics. The only comic I needed that he did for Image Comics was Casual Heroes, just quote-unquote one-shot. Now, with these floppies, because I don't ordinarily... When I'm doing comic hauls, it's usually just those graphic novel collected editions. Very rarely do I get floppies. And honestly, it's not very cost-effective. It does say Very Fine Plus. That was what the condition said on eBay. And it's pretty immaculate. It's from 1996, so you think a book that old would have some blemishes, but like none to be seen. Just an advertisement for a Witchblade. That's kind of funny. Ooh, what's this Man Against Time book? They're older books, there probably aren't any trades out of it. But here is the artwork for Casual Heroes. And now I'm going to check to see if they have anything to say. So written pencil by Kevin McCarthy, inked by John Stangeland and Kevin McCarthy, and then colored by Noel Giddings. Edited by Brett Lewis. That's why I saw that name. Brett Lewis he's in a bunch for Image, but specifically he did the final volume of Thief of Thieves, which I own. But yeah, it was I thought that was the only thing he had done. Then I checked other sources, and I felt stupid for thinking that the only thing he did was that. Yeah, it does say to be continued, so the series must have gotten canceled. Actually, I did not check to see. I did not check my comic shop to make sure it's the only issue that ever came out of it. I just checked League of Comic Book Geeks. But also, I think I did check it. Yeah, let's check it on the phone right now. Let's wait over there. My comic shop is a good resource because it'll tell you how many issues the series has, give you all the variants, and if they have it available on their website, you can buy it right from there if you so desire. Alright, so Casual Heroes. He's so pissed if there's more than one issue. That's right, I did check it. Yeah, just one. It must have gotten canceled or whatever. Alright, next up we have Circuit Breaker, also written by Kevin McCarthy. So these ones, you're going to see a lot here that look bizarre, and like I've never mentioned the writer or anything like that. Circuit Breaker and the one after the other one that's written by Kevin McCarthy are both books that I was aware of when Image they did a little poll on that poll. They asked everyone on Twitter, what's the most emotionally resonant Image comic book you've read? It was something along those lines. And someone put Circuit Breaker, and then someone else put the book you'll be seeing after the next one. So the next one after, the following book will be the other one that I bought because of that reason. It was kind of funny because you would get like a bunch of sagas, a bunch of Walking Deads, and then just these books I've never even heard of. Alright, so this one collects, I believe, 1 through 4 of Circuit Breaker. I don't know why I said it like that. Oh, there it is. 1 through 5, actually. Is that iPhone? It's not. Oh, is the laptop? I mean, the laptop. I heard like a little ding. I couldn't. I had a little ding, like a little. Actually, it does sound exactly like a sound the laptop would make. But the laptop's closed. It's one of those like notifications you get on the Windows. There's a Windows notification sound. But anyways, it's one of those things where it sounds familiar, but what was it again? Why does it sound familiar? So writer Kevin McCarthy, artist Kyle Baker. Oh, and coloring assist is done by Mindy Steffen. So here's the artwork for Circuit Breaker. One of those books that, if it were any other publisher, I probably wouldn't have bothered with it, even if they were the person that they user was still giving the same amount of praise to it. I just look up on the library, see the library had it. If they didn't, I just say screw it. If it was like from Boom Studios or whatever. But because it's Image, I'm getting nothing but Image. We gotta get it. We gotta be a completist, and I don't think it's a bad thing, in my opinion, because I'm not breaking the bank at all. Worst case, I just won't get something like Witchblade, which that is coming out, but it's tomorrow if you wait for Amazon. And I'd probably wait until August. I'll probably wait until August because that's when Witchblade Volume 2 comes out of the new series. So it'll be a Witchblade August. I kind of like that novelty. But anyways, moving on to the next Kevin McCarthy book, and that is Epic. I almost bought this on the Kindle because on Amazon it was one of those widescreen books. Like if you've ever read The Private Eye from Image, or most notably Echoland from Image, that's what I'm talking about when I say widescreen comics. The format that I really hate, and so I was just gonna get them on the Kindle because it was showing the actual normal size of a trade. But then I looked on eBay, and then I saw this book, and I was like, perfect. It's exactly the dimensions I want for my comics. At the very least, I have like this for collected editions. Something like Family Force 5, I don't mind being the smaller digest size. In fact, I prefer it to be that size. But anyways, Epic, collecting 1 through 5 of Epic, written by Kevin McCarthy, with artwork done by Paolo Pantalena, with colors done by Bill Farmer and George Fairs. And you can tell this is an older Image book. So lettering is done by Tony Pateri, who does these. This is kind of like a scratchy, kind of almost like a scratchy chicken scratch almost kind of writing, where it's legible, but it's like that, kind of jagged. I guess is the best way to say. Best word to use to describe it. So that's Epic. And I thought they were spelling Epic in like a weird way, like as tongue in cheek, but as kind of like not even as a joke, but just like that's just the way they wanted it to have it spelled, and like that wasn't actually how you spell Epic. That is a way you can spell Epic. It's Epic, EPIC, and then the way they spell it. It can be spelled both ways. But I think epoch, like, the way they spelled it there, doesn't mean the same thing. I think like it's kind of like I don't know. I can't think of it. There was a word I was thinking of. I just exited my mind completely. I'm a little bit distracted. There's that eBay notification I was waiting for. Alright. Next one up is the one I was mentioning before, is Meltdown. Written by David B. Schwartz. This was one that I just had heard about, and so this one is also one that is also another thing I collect, is not just Image books, but an added novelty, I guess you could say, is when I find out that the only book they've written is this book. It's the only book that David B. Schwartz has written. For me, it's just a collect them all for that. For me, it's just a collect them all for that reason. It's just kind of a nice little novelty. It's the only thing I've ever done for Image. And there are a few, like Nate Cosby, Pigs was not the only thing he's ever written. And it's ever written, not just for Image, it's ever written in general. But yeah, sometimes Amazon has it wrong, and I have to look at other sources. I'll hit their Amazon page, their Amazon author page, and they'll only list one book, and then the author actually has written like 2 or 3. But here's the artwork for Meltdown, and once I finish showing the artwork, I will cite the credit the artist. So written by David B. Schwartz, artwork and lettering by Sean Wang, colors done by Groove Effects. And the issue 1 cover is done by Chris Bachalo. Issue 2 cover by Greg Horn. That's pretty neat. Okay, so this one I think collects just 2 issues. I don't think anything else. Yep. 2 issues, they're pretty long. And a bunch of extras. So it was a 2-issue miniseries. And then this trade just collects a bunch of extras, like pin-ups and all the junk you expect from collected editions. Usually, especially with definitive editions too, like that, just a bunch of added junk to raise that price. But this one isn't egregious with how much extra stuff it has in it, like how much extras it has in it, which I think is a really good thing. But about this much, it's a good amount still, but I mean it's still 2 issues at the end of the day. But Meltdown. Then we have, speaking of the Amazon had it wrong. This is Mysterious Ways, written by Jason Rubin. For the longest time, I was like, oh, Iron Satan's the only thing Jason Rubin has done. That was a year ago, last April of 2024. I did that, and I thought it was the only thing he had done for the longest time. And then one night, when I was trying to get this, one night, I look up, hey, Jason Rubin, let's see what. So League of Comic Book Geeks is the best resource for looking up everything an author has written, especially if you want to do it per publisher, because you can just do Control F and then do Image Comics or DC Comics or whatever. And I did that for Jason Rubin, and he's written so little, he's like 3 or 4, so it was all right there, front and center. I didn't have to do the Control F to see everything except for Image, and then Mysterious Ways was credited. So this was kind of the month of like, oh, I forgot about, not necessarily I didn't forget about that book, but I didn't know this book existed, found out it did, and then added it to my cart, or added to the save for later, added to the wish list. And this one collects, I think, 1 through 4 of Mysterious Ways, but I also want to say it's 1 through 5. I was wrong. It's actually 1 through 6. And I almost said to myself, like, why should I be completely wrong? And it was. I predicted that. So, impeccable, absolutely outstanding artwork. And the artist here is Taylor Kirkham. Has pencils. Inks done by Sal Regala, and then colors by Arif Prianto of IFS. And lettering again done by Tony Pateri. Because I kind of like that jagged. That was what I was trying to look for. That's what I was trying to use to describe it. I was thinking of to use to describe it is jagged. I don't mind that kind of lettering. It's just kind of like I'm kind of glad they don't do it anymore. In the same breath, though. There's Mysterious Waves. Now for a comic series that I am so glad got reprinted because I really like this series, and that is Cowl. Now there is a 3rd volume, but no news on if issue 4 is ever going to come out of Cowl 1964. It's on like indefinite hiatus. So this is written by Kyle Higgins, and I believe only Kyle Higgins. Yes, that is right. And then the artwork. So actually, no, it's Kyle Higgins and Alex Seal do the story. Rod Brace doing the artwork. I just saw like 3 names, and I was like, oh, author, artist, colorist. I was wrong. So this is one I had read before. This is one of those library had it. I liked it so much that I bought it myself. But it was a long time coming because at first I was like, well, I'm going to wait till I get everything Kyle Higgins has written before I go too overboard. And then I got around the time I was thinking of getting Hadrian's Wall, which even that was a long time coming. This one was out of print, like out of print, $30, and I think one of them was just gone. And I honestly want to say that was for almost a year. And then they did the reprint. So if you are at all knowledgeable about Cowl, or you own Cowl yourself, you will see that these covers are different than the covers you most likely have, unless you have this new printing of Cowl. I like when they do that for new printings. They give you a whole new cover, just so no one on eBay can say, yep, it's a first printing that's worth a bunch of money, because for whatever reason, the first printings, the same exact, 9 times out of 10, they're the same exact content, the first printings are worth a lot more. I mean, it's also with from Stephen King, obviously, Carrie, first print, is going to be worth a lot of money. But something like this is probably worth like $30 at most, I would argue. But they say, oh yeah, it's a first printing, and then you get the book and it's not, because there's no way to tell, because all the printings look the same for the most part, at least for the first 3 or so. But just on the second printing, the covers look different, and I appreciate that. So Volume 1 collects 1 through 5, I believe, and then Volume 2 is 6 through 10. I'm like 100% sure that I'm right about that, but yes. So at least for Volume 1, Principles of Power, Cowl Volume 1, Principles of Power, collects 1 through 5 of Cowl. Now, I'm trying to go a little bit faster with this video, and the reason for why that is because tomorrow when Clementine Book 3 comes in, the only book I don't have yet for the June haul, when that comes in, and I'll be doing the other cut of that video, it'll be like a more well put together and organized version of the video, because that's the end of the month haul videos. I always like to make those like organized, and I say everything I need to say, who the authors are, how many issues to collect, show the artwork, all of that. And just in case I forgot to do it, I'm pretty sure I didn't, but just in case, I'm going to show the artwork again for Cowl, or quote unquote again. And I never show if it's two series, if it's 2 volumes in a series or more that I get at one time, I don't show the artwork for volume 2. Now, if I had gotten volume 1 of Cowl a month ago and then volume 2 this month, I will be showing the artwork because it's this month's haul. It doesn't, and I can include volume 1 that I didn't get this month. Then yes, I would show the artwork for Cowl volume 2. And this one collects 6 to 10, I believe. No, 7 through 11. Uh-oh. Where's issue 6? What the fuck? They're missing issue 6. Or it's just a misprint. No, Cowl 7 through 11. Why are you missing issue 6? That's dumb. Let's just check on this one to make sure this isn't collect 1 through 6. It's a misprint. If I say 7, yeah, what the hell? No issue 6. I don't know why comics do that. Like, I get it. Sometimes it's a precursor, but it's issue 6. Yeah, chapter 5. Man. Is there any way to know this is chapter 7? That's blank. That's the introduction. And then it goes right to here. It doesn't tell you. That is really dumb and annoying. Alright, I'm gonna have to look into it after. But yeah, Cowl I really enjoyed. That's kind of weird though. Let's check the, let's consult everything. Let's consult everything, that makes sense. How long has this been going on for? 20 minutes. We'll do it after. Alright. Next up is Volume 3 of Void Rivals, collecting 13 to 18 of Void Rivals, written by Robert Kirkman, with artwork done by Lorenzo De Felici. So this is a good example of me showing the artwork, even though it's Volume 3. I got Volumes 1 and 2 last month, but I didn't get them this month, so we're going to show the artwork of Volume 3. But this series has just been really popular, and I'm just kind of collecting the trades as they come out, thinking foolishly it will end, and then it's totally not an ongoing. And then colors is Patricio De Felici, same as it's always been, same as it always was. Yeah, it's so weird about Cowl. Alright, G.I. Joe Volume 1, which is called The Cobra Strikes. This is written by Joshua Williamson, with artwork done by Tom Riley. And then colored by Jordi Belair, who does a lot, there's a lot of coloring. It seems like almost every other book that was out from Image for a while there was colored by her. Not exactly, not coming close to complaining, but just kind of like she has her work cut out for her. And this one collects 1 through 6 of G.I. Joe, by Joshua Williamson, the ongoing series. Now, those of you who might be confused with, there's 2 G.I. Joe series? Yes, there is. There's one by Larry Hama, which is continuing the run he started at IDW, and then there's G.I. Joe by Joshua Williamson, which is continuing his story from Duke and I believe Cobra Commander. I know at least Duke, because I know Duke shows up in this book. So let's see what it says. Yeah, so codename Duke, so it's at least the sequel to that. Yeah, and then it says Cobra Commander. So yes, the sequel to both Duke and Cobra Commander. So Energon Universe coming full circle with G.I. Joe. Next one I got a little bit early, a day early. If you go by what Amazon versus direct market is concerned, anyways, and that is Free Agents, written by Kurt Busiek and Fabian Nicieza, with artwork done by Stephen Mooney, and then color artist is Triona Tree Farrell. So this Fabian Nicieza did. I got this mostly because I got this all because of Fabian Nicieza. It's the only thing he done for Image, and I count it as him writing this book as a co-author. I still count it as that. Maybe more than I should, like a Matt Kent cosmic detective kind of way. But yeah, that's the way I do it. And this one collects 1 through 7 of Free Agents. But this I got from my comic shop, and this time they were a bit slow. So this is the one that came in a little bit. It was the one that was, I said, oh, this one I should have gotten on Saturday, but I didn't. Yada yada yada. But perfectly fine condition. Just the trade. I hate when some Image trades are just like this more wavy paper. There's just like this lighter paper or whatever paper stock they use. So it comes out looking a lot wavier the more pages they add to it. And this has a lot of pages. This is 240 pages according to Amazon. My comic shop says 192. And looking at it with my naked eye, I would say it's closer to 240 than to 192. But who cares? This is still thick. And you still collect 7 issues. For, not the best price, I think $19.99 is a bit steep. But I mean, I more mean that in a sense that I would have felt a lot more comfortable if I paid $16.99 for it. But I didn't. Because my comic shop, you gotta pay for shipping. That's fine. Get it early. I guess it's worth it. Yeah, comic book legends, as they say on the back here. Kurt Busiek, who I'm not too crazy about, but Fabian Nicieza did Cable and Deadpool. I love that series. Took me a lot to get into it. Definitely is one of those very convoluted, sci-fi kind of comics. And Fabian Nicieza seems to be really adept at that. And if you don't like that, you probably won't like Free Agents. But I don't like Free Agents. You probably won't like Cable and Deadpool. But Free Agents, honestly, that does seem to appear to be on a sci-fi. Yeah, so it says superhero science fiction is the genres. I'm going to show the artwork because I don't think I showed it yet. Free Agents. Now this one, another novelty for Free Agents is while it does say it's an ongoing, issue 8, as of my recording this, has not gotten solicited. And we already have gotten September 2025 solicits. So at least until October. Unless they missed something. But even then, no Free Agents issue 9 if it was no, because it would be a show now. So never mind what I said. Like, I just skipped over because I wasn't paying attention to Free Agents at that time. But anyways, last but certainly, well, maybe the least, is Carmen by Guillaume March. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Cover Girls Volumes 1 and 2. I didn't get it before, nothing like that. But when I saw Cover Girls, at first they were saying, oh no, it's just covers he did for Image. Like, literally just, not for Image, just an art book. But then Volume 2 has a 20-page comic story. But I'm not going to spend that much money just for that 20-page comic story. So as of right now, this is what I count as all I need for Guillaume March's Image work. And this is Carmen. This one I had read before, but this is borderline. The library had it. I liked it so much that I bought it myself. This one was just like, I liked it enough. I remember really liking the ending, but a lot of the humor just fell flat for me. That was kind of juvenile especially for mature readers comic. I was like really going at that kind of humor. All right, but it was just kind of like the most like predictable kind of humor too. But I remember liking the ending. And when I finished the series, it was one of those things where even though I didn't like most of what I've read so far, the ending made it for me. And again, it's been a long time since I've read Carmen, and so I think like on a second reread. Now, when I get the library's copy, while I'm getting my Image, and I had open slots, I was like, why the hell not? Also, this is infamously out of print on Amazon. There's one book available, and it's in good condition. And this I got for brand new. It was like shrink wrapped, brand new, spanking new condition. This is a little bit of a bunch here, but you can't tell that. Like, honestly, like, looking at it from afar, I can't see anything wrong with it. But that's even then, it's not a big deal. It's kind of like, well, it's a brand spanking new copy. How'd that happen? You're not Amazon, you're eBay. And this one collects 1 through 5 of Carmen, I believe. Say in the back? Yes, it does. Yeah, I was right, 1 through 5. But yeah, Cowls. You know what I'm going to do with the little post-credit scenes? I showed the artwork. I'll show the artwork again. I don't know why I thought we didn't. I know I did. I remember exactly what the 2-page spread looks like, too. Now, it's European comics, too. So maybe European comics, that was the style he was going for. And it does seem like that was the case. But just that juvenile humor kind of broke it for me. Not completely, obviously. And it was just like, the pacing was off, the story was off, just the way that they told it. William March chose to tell a story was just kind of weird. So yeah, why isn't Cowl issue 6 included on the trades? That's really dumb. Because now I have to buy it myself. It looks like that. Oh my god, it looks like completely different too. It's a one shot, and I guess going for an aesthetic. I mean, so it says new story arc. So why don't you include it in the trade? Or maybe they do, and it's just a misprint. They say, "Oh no, it doesn't collect issue 6," but it actually does. Or maybe there's just no issue 11. I don't know why Kindle isn't letting me look at this free samples on the iPhone sometimes. I don't know why I said so awkwardly like that. Alright, this is gonna take forever, because I'll try and refresh it. Oop. Wow, really? You got one of those. So I saw I got a text, I was like, uh-oh, who did I miss? And it was one of those spam ones. Talking about a car I don't own. I don't drive. Alright, it's being weird. I for whatever reason, you can't read samples off the Amazon website on your iPhone, on smartphones anymore. It's really dumb. I don't know if it's a glitch. I don't know what it is. I noticed it not too long ago, and I'm just going to have to go on the laptop, and I'll do that in a minute. I'll do that after I film this. But it's been going on for way too long. 32 minutes. I hate how long these videos get, and I'm trying to make them quick. I was going over 11 books. 12 of you include the flop, but I don't. But that's still, like, it's a lot of time to go over just a few books. And I guess I might as well. Might as well make it 33 minutes, and then just tell you guys about the book. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't collect issue 6. That is the dumbest thing in my opinion. I hate that because it's only $2 to buy it. But it's like, money is already tight for me. I should not have to buy books. I can do that. I should not have to buy the issue of a comic that should be included in a trade. It's like that Sex Criminals book. There was a Sexual Gary issue of Sex Criminals. I just read it today. It was really good. I'll be in that review later on of all the Image books I read this month. But for whatever reason... Yeah, no, because it definitely wasn't included. Because they're going for an aesthetic. It's so annoying. Alright. So I'll have to get my book. I'll have to get that book myself. Maybe I'll just read it elsewhere and not like. Because honestly, it's Cowl and I don't know. It's really dumb now. I wonder if that was the way that the original trays were, and it's not just a misprint of the reprint. All right, so let's do. Not Cowl Image Comics. Yeah, no, Cowl Image Comics, not Cowl issue 6, obviously. Let's check this. Check the volume 1 trade. Yeah, it says 1 through 5. Like, officially. And I'll check Cowl volume 2. Yeah, 7 through 11. No issue 6. That's really dumb. Alright, that's it.